If you've ever had to motivate that member of your team that does the minimum and calls it a day to be and do more, or you appear in another department to pull resources to collaborate on a project, or the board to approve a budget, you had to deal with what it takes to win with people. It's interesting how the higher up you go, the less you need to prove your technical skills to secure buy in with others. Rather, it is how well you engage with people, politics, and power that determines whether your teammate will step up, your peer will share resources, and the board will approve that budget. Hi, I'm Modesta Mahiga, and this is the Modesta Mahiga 360 Leadership Podcast. In this episode, we're going to talk about how to win with people. Before we get started, I want to thank you for investing your valuable time listening to our podcast and to ask you to follow our podcast and leave a review. It'll tell others that if leaders such as yourself find value in it, they can too. Thank you. All right, on with the episode. So, how do we win with people? There are three principles that I'd like to share with you as a 360 leader that seeks to succeed at work and in life. The first principle is to remember that people are people. Whether in professional or personal settings, behavioral psychology tells us that people make decisions based on how they feel about their beliefs, identity, and interests. When someone believes they're a certain person that belongs to a specific group that behaves a certain way to further certain interests, they will say and do things that are congruent with that belief, identity, and interest. And catch this, they will not say or do things that are contrary to that belief, identity, and interest. So if you found it challenging to win with others, could it be that you did not know or affirm their beliefs, identity, and interests? Or worse still, you knowingly or unknowingly dishonored their beliefs, identity, and interests. So if you want to win with that team member, peer, or board, ask yourself, what are their beliefs about themselves, others, and the situation? These are their mental models, defining how and why they think the way they do. Number two, what is their identity? The group they belong to and role they play in that group. And number three, what are their interests, what they value, want, and how much of it they want to feel that it is satisfactory to them? The second principle to remember is to give more than you take. When you give what another deems valuable, you create a dynamic where they're most likely to reciprocate when you request for value from them, especially when doing so affirms their beliefs, identity, and interests. So think of the person you're currently struggling to win with and ask yourself number one, what tangible, or number two, intangible thing do they want that I can facilitate? Invest in them before you make a demand from them. Sometimes we experience pushback simply because we're often the takers and seldom the givers. Ouch. If you don't already, make this note to self. Self, make sure to deposit into others before making a withdrawal. The third principle is to honor them in private and in public. If they are, for example, at a disadvantage, rather than beat them down or take advantage of them because they're, low to the ground at the moment, help them access resources that put them at an advantage. This could look like helping them to access information, relationships, finances, platforms that help them maximize value, what they deem to be valuable. If they're already at an advantage, this could look like publicly recognizing and facilitating opportunities for even further recognition, celebration, and elevation for them. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not manipulation. These are the basics of nurturing H to H, human to human connection. No matter the organization or structure, it is people you deal with at work and in life. Just as you would want to learn how to use a software program to maximize performance and output, as leaders, we need to learn how to connect and win with people if we're to maximize personal, team, organizational, and industry effectiveness. In lay speak, here is how I'd summarize today's episode on how to win with people. Number one, connect with people heart to heart. Number two, meet them where they are. Number three, make them feel seen, heard, and understood. Remember, people believe, people identify with, and people have interests that they seek to further. Get to know what these are and connect with them from where they are. Number four, serve their interests and solve their problem. This is taking us to the second principle of giving more than you take. Number five, help them save face. If they're at a disadvantage, cover them and help them get to help them get to an advantage. And I'm not saying cover them like they're doing something wrong, or if they're being unethical, doing something illegal, that you cover for them. No, no, no. I mean, if somebody is at a place where they are not maximizing their value, where they're not winning, where they're not giving their all, then be the person that looks out for their interests so that they see you to be a go to resource. They see you to be a comrade. They see you to be a person who is in support of their beliefs, of their identity, of their interests. And then number six, crown them king. Help them become the best versions of themselves. Help them win at what they're looking to pursue. Help them come out on top rather than be at a disadvantage. And then number seven, elevate them publicly. Look for opportunities to celebrate, to recognize, to elevate them, both internally and externally. Do this, and you'll find favor and have doors open to you continually, no matter where you stand. If you're a leader that needs help winning with people, reach out to me on operations@modestamahiga.com to learn more about our global executive coaching program. For more leadership and business resources, connect with us on modestamahiga.com. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of the Modesta Mahiga 360 Leadership Podcast. My team and I believe in you and want to see you win. Thank you also for following our podcast and leaving a review. To show our appreciation, we'll read out your review and give you a shout out in following episodes. Until the next time we meet, we wish you all the very best in your leadership and your life. Bye for now.